The Grand Canyon, a destination well known for its breathtaking landscapes and geological wonders that draw tourists worldwide, has many odd things you may yet learn about. Despite being one of the most famous attractions in the United States, the Grand Canyon has also been the site of countless strange and perplexing discoveries. The Grand Canyon has provided numerous unique and mysterious events, ranging from ancient relics and unusual rock formations to exotic animal species. On the other hand, a crew of professionals recently studied the Grand Canyon. This inquiry would yield a shocking discovery that would alter our understanding of this historic geological structure. What are the 10 most shocking Grand Canyon discoveries that have terrified the entire world? Let's find out together. Number 1. 313-million-year-old prehistoric life. A giant lizard-like creature clambered up a coastal dune in what is now the Grand Canyon some 313 million years ago. A light dew wetted the tracks, cementing them in place, and then wind-blown sand covered them, preserving the clawed imprints of the animal for eons. The trackway is the earliest reported vertebrate trackway in Grand Canyon National Park. Tetrapods, or four-legged creatures, left these tracks, and another set left later. The second pair of footprints were laid down after some sand had gathered in the previous stage, and experts believe that they're from the same species. These contemporary reptiles' ancestors lived in the sand 250 million years before the T-Rex and would have moved with a highly advanced gait. A Norwegian professor of geology, Alan Krill, found the imprinted marks in 2016 while guiding his students on an annual field trip to the Grand Canyon along Bright Angel Trail. He found the ancient footprints engraved into a fallen boulder at the trail's base of a canyon. Krill photographed and emailed the prints to Steve Rowland, a geologist who frequently accompanied the Norwegian group on their excursions. Rowland and his crew found the track-bearing boulder falling from a nearby Manicaca Formation cliff exposure. The size of the trace suggests the creatures were roughly the size of a modern-day chuckwalla, measuring 15 to 30 inches, or 40 to 80 centimeters long, according to the researchers. The tetrapod traces discovered on the Bright Angel Trail were not familiar footsteps. They were like a window into the past, revealing how these ancient critters traveled. Rowland researched and discovered that these tetrapods had a cool lateral sequence gait, which is still used by modern-day pets, like dogs and cats, when they walk. So we may thank these tetrapods for transmitting their movements through the years. It's as if they left us a dancing lesson in the form of fossilized footprints from prehistoric times. There's more to secrets than the rocks can reveal or conceal. Number 2. The Coconino Sandstone. The Coconino Sandstone, a rock layer representing a significant component of the Grand Canyon's composition, is a remarkable geological figure. This rock layer is one of several oddities discovered at the Grand Canyon. It stands out with its white to light gray hue and distinct texture, which can be seen in many of the canyon's walls and cliffs. The Coconino Sandstone is thought to have been formed by ancient dunes preserved over 275 million years ago during the Permian epoch. This geological feature, which continues to attract researchers and tourists alike, is a tribute to the enormous forces that sculpted the Grand Canyon over millions of years. Number 3. The Great Unconformity. The Grand Canyon is a geological layer cake, with rocks placed precisely on one another as they were set down millions of years ago. That is, until you reach the Great Unconformity, a gap between geological layers representing 1 billion years in some locations. While there are many myths about the Grand Canyon, the Great Unconformity is a geological feature found in the Grand Canyon and in other parts of the world where there is a lack of millions or billions of years of rock layers in the geological record, resulting in a significant discontinuity in the rock sequence. The Great Unconformity is located within the Grand Canyon between the ancient Vishnu Schist, which dates back over 1.7 billion years, and the Tapete Sandstone, which is around 525 million years old. The missing rock strata are a vital part of Earth's history, and the causes of this gap are still being researched and debated. Just another of the Grand Canyon's many mysteries. Number 4. Supai Village. While this isn't necessarily unusual, it is distinct and deserves to be mentioned. Supai Village is located on the Havasupai Indian Reservation in Arizona, deep within the Grand Canyon. It's a small Native American hamlet considered one of the most isolated in the United States, accessible only by foot, horseback, or helicopter. The community serves as the capital of the Havasupai Indian Reservation and has a population of about 200, most of whom are Havasupai tribe members. The area is known for its stunning natural beauty, which includes waterfalls, red rock formations, and blue pools. Tourists can trek or ride a mule to Supai village and enjoy the breathtaking scenery while learning about the indigenous culture. The community allows travelers to spend the night and hike to surrounding locations, such as Mooney Falls and Havasu Falls. Number 5. The Cave of the Domes. The Cave of the Domes, a remarkable underground cave system nestled within the canyon, is one of the most intriguing finds in the Grand Canyon. The cave has a series of impressive domes that developed over millions of years when the limestone walls crumbled. These domes are recognized by the accumulation of mineral deposits on the cave ceiling, which gives them their characteristic appearance. Tourists visit the Cave of the Domes to see the Grand Canyon's distinctive geological structures. There are guided tours available, allowing visitors to dig into the history and science that underpins this enthralling natural phenomenon. Number 6. Sloth dung and mummified bats. Sloth dung and mummified bats can be found in the Grand Canyon caverns. The majority of the canyon's limestone walls have caverns embedded in them. The Grand Canyon, as we know it, has several caves with insides filled with various remains of plants and animals, providing us with insight into the region's past during the Ice Age. The caverns also vary in size, with some being so tiny that you'll have to enter on all fours, while others are large enough to have a dance party. In any case, these caves have proven ideal for bats. Birds, wood rats, mountain goats, and sloths are all extinct. Yes, you read that correctly. Some of these animals' bones were discovered, and their bone-dry circumstances formed a magnificently preserved environment. The well-preserved fossils gave researchers access to 40,000 years of history and information about what life was like during the Ice Age. Scientists began to investigate these historical markers. They started with a rampart cave at the canyon's far western end. Several dung balls were discovered spread around the floor by scientists. At first glance, one might think that they were expelled recently, although they were produced by a 500-pound Chester ground sloth that had been extinct for nearly 10,000 years. The sloth dung deposits were found to be between 40,000 and 11,000 years old after radiocarbon dating was performed on the excrement. The discovery of wild old mata in the pool also aided scientists in determining the animal's dietary habits. The animals ate pollen that floated in the air. It also contained essential hints regarding the regional plant community. Wood rat middens also functioned as physical records of animal and plant remnants, preserved in orderly stacks and unaltered for hundreds of years. Several skulls have also been discovered. Extinct mountain goat skulls and even mummified birds have been found. This expedition included Steve Emsley, a professor of biology at the University of North Carolina and an expert in birds from the Ice Age. He found some condors in the caves and was able to study them. According to his chemical research, the Grand Canyon condors most likely consumed megafauna as a delicacy. However, the megafauna became extinct, which could have also killed off the birds. These are important events in the world's history that led to the discovery of the Grand Canyon. Number 7. The underground suite in the Grand Canyon Caves. When the Cuban Missile Crisis was still raging in 1961, then President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, took a step ahead to build a haven for the people in case the bombs chose to rain down. Throughout his hunt, he decided the Grand Canyon was the ideal place. Kennedy ensured enough food and supplies in the caverns to feed at least 2,000 people. The food supplies were expected to last at least a month, but because the bombs were never detonated, the cave suites became Grand Canyon tourist sites. As indicated before by Caverns Motel, the canyon maintains and administers a single-room suite, which is 220 feet below the earth. Even after 40 years of storage, the cave's naturally dry climate maintains JFK's emergency supplies fresh and usable. The suite has a television, a small library, double beds, a record player, and running water. Despite being 220 feet below ground, this suite is only somewhat secluded. The suite is one of the attractions at the national park. As a result, travelers frequently visit the room during the day. Nothing exists in the caverns because of the tremendous depth, zero humidity, and utter darkness. There are no rodents, insects, or other creatures. As a result, when combined with the stone insulation, The chamber may be the quietest in America. It can also be rented for $900 per night due to its unique history. Number 8. Petroglyphs and rock art from ancient civilizations. Petroglyphs and rock art may be found across the Grand Canyon since many ancient civilizations left their marks on the canyon walls. While they aren't the most unique objects found in the Grand Canyon, after all, prehistoric humans lived in these areas for many years. They are certainly some of the most fascinating historical finds. These ancient artworks shed light on the history and culture of the people who lived in the area long before European explorers arrived. The oldest petroglyphs in the Grand Canyon date back to roughly 10,000 years ago, during the Archaic period, and consist of abstract motifs and geometric shapes, commonly discovered in isolated and inaccessible regions. Number 9. The uranium discovery. Although it may appear unusual, uranium has been discovered in the Grand Canyon, indicating that it exists inside the rocklands. As a radioactive element, it implies radiation in its surroundings. However, tests suggested that the radiation occurs at a shallow level, indicating that Grand Canyon visitors are quite safe. When the radioactive material was discovered in the 1950s, miners began to operate in the area, and tons of uranium were taken out of the Grand Canyon region. Currently, there are abandoned mines in the various areas of the Grand Canyon, which may harm the well-being of individuals who live near or in the Grand Canyon. The uranium craze reappeared in the 2000s, and many people returned to resume mining. During this period, the Grand Canyon region suffered because the yellow wall tainted the scenery, leaving it in bad condition. Following this incident, petitions were launched to prevent uranium mining in the area, resulting in the founding of the Havasupai tribe, whose habitat is located at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. The tribe raised concerns about uranium contamination, alleging that uranium mining in the Grand Canyon area could render the water unfit for human use. As a result of these concerns and petitions, all uranium mining operations were put on hold for 20 years. The ban was established on 1 million acres surrounding the Grand Canyon and surrounding areas to protect the geological heritage and the people who live there. Number 10. Fossils in the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is a geological wonder, with rock formations dating back over 2 billion years. It's also a great place to find fossils, with a vast collection of ancient plant and animal remnants. Trilobites, extinct sea arthropods that lived over 500 million years ago, are among the most famous fossils discovered in the Grand Canyon. Other fossils found in the canyon include ammonites, which are ancient cephalopods similar to modern-day squid and octopi, as well as brachiopods, bryozoans, and crinoids, all of which are marine organisms that existed millions of years ago. So which of these finds amazed you the most? Please let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to our channel, and click on that bell icon to turn on notifications.